So I'm at Savers again, and there's a Game Boy here for $4.99. And there's a ribbon cable, so you also don't want to just rip the system off to get in there. And as you can tell, the screen looks great now. No more lines. Turn it back on, and it looks like all the lines are still gone. This is my iCade 60-in-1. It's not a computer per se, but it's an actual JAMA arcade board that has 60 games built in. It's most likely a variation of MAME. And it's really actually only about 52 games and multiple variations of Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and a few other games. It's pretty cool. The emulation's pretty spot on. The sound is off a little bit, but it's as close of a representation you can get for the price. The boards themselves are pretty difficult to find now. For a while they're available online for about $200, but I don't see them much anymore. And I don't know if it's just because it's losing popularity or if they've been cracking down on these boards, because obviously the companies that own the rights to them, they're probably not getting anything out of this. And also too, when you load the different games, all the copyrights to the original companies have been removed. And there's some pretty good ones in here. Obviously all three Donkey Kongs are on here: Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Burger Time, which is one of my personal favorites. You can get daughter boards for the board itself, which will allow you to install a trackball or even a rolling controller, so you can play games like Arkanoid and Super Breakout or Centipede and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I didn't actually install it. I just have a joystick and 3 buttons, and that's really all you need. Some of the newer titles on it are games like 1943 and Gunsmoke. And by newer, I mean those are more than 20 some odd years. But graphically, they obviously look newer than some of the other titles that are on here. So I'll go ahead and play a little bit of Burger Time. I'm not very efficient at the grouping, but I can do it, so it's obviously a plus for me. If you follow the Saul's Mafia blog, you see that for about a year I had practiced Burger Time on Nintendo for days and months at a time almost. And once you figure out how to group, the game's not that hard. And in some of the later levels, in the arcade version, as you group, you'll actually get an extra life for every time you drop the enemies. Got some new games that came in the mail today. These are from Infravision on eBay. I never bought from them before, so we'll go ahead and check them out. Cool. Bart Simpson Escape from Camp Deadly. Looks like it's in great shape. Pins are very, very clean. And then Bart versus the Juggernauts. This has a little bit of grime, not too bad. The pins look great as well. Cool, Infravision on eBay. So pretty much wasted all the peppers there, but if I did this right, I'll get an extra life for every time I drop them all. And there you go. Another extra life. So I'm in the parking lot of one of the thrift stores that I frequent here in Las Vegas. It's Goodwill. I've had some good finds, a lot of dry spells, so I don't know what we'll find tonight, but we'll check it out, see if there's anything cool. Another extra life. Okay, I'm back home now from that Goodwill. I was completely convinced that it was going to be a wash, that I wouldn't find anything of any value or interest, but I was actually completely and totally wrong. So I ended up getting 3 separate items. One of it's 2 items in one bag. I'll actually save that item for last because it's the coolest of the 3. So the first thing I got is for GameCube, and it's a game. And that's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's listed here as a $4.99, but the kid gave it to me for $2.50, which I was actually surprised about because at that particular Goodwill, they seem to hire some people that are a little less than polite. And I realize that, you know, it's organizations that hire people who have difficulty finding a job, but, you know, when you hire people that are rude, it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, that's probably the reason why they didn't have a job to begin with. And I could understand, you know, people need development, people need coaching, and that's a perfect place for some of those people to start. But unfortunately, at that particular Goodwill, it just rarely happens. So I was very surprised that the kid behind the counter gave it to me for half price. So kudos to him. The next item, which I'm pretty happy about, is the Sega Genesis controller, but it's the arcade stick, licensed arcade stick, the 6 buttons. That was only $5.99. It's a little dusty, but it looks like it's in great shape. No screws are missing. The buttons feel good. They're not loose or smashed down. The turbos still have a click to them. Everything, it's nice. I'm really impressed. It's only $6. It probably cost me more to buy it online with shipping. Now, last but not least, I'm actually very happy about this. It's 2 Nintendo peripherals. The first one is actually the gray light gun, which that in itself isn't that impressive. You can find those pretty frequently. Ah, they broke up. Another extra life. The other thing is the actual Voss controller for Arkanoid. We'll go ahead and open this up. Together they were $5.99 for both. And it's incredible shape. I mean, it's definitely beat up. It's it's seen better days. But it turns great. The button works. So I'm really impressed. I'm gonna make some effort to actually restore this, give it back its original luster. But I'm totally impressed. I never thought I'd actually find this in the wild, much less own it, unless I paid an exorbitant amount of money on eBay. So definitely I consider this a win, and I hope I can continue to find more great finds like this one, because I'm very happy with this and I can't wait to try it out.